I never thought I would be capable of doing it. And yet, here I am, telling the story of my biggest mistake, a mistake that destroyed my life and left me with a guilt that will never leave me. This is not a story of justifications, but of raw and painful truth. A story of love, betrayal, and regret. If you want to discover how a mother's words can change her daughter's fate and lead her to destroy everything she had built, then stay with me until the end. I promise this story will keep you on the edge of your seat and perhaps make you reflect on your choices. Before continuing, though, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss other exciting and dramatic stories. I assure you, every story I tell is worth listening to. I lived in New York with my husband, James. He was the man I had always dreamed of, caring, intelligent, and with a smile that could brighten even the darkest days. Our love story seemed straight out of a movie. We met by chance in a Brooklyn coffee shop, and from that day on, we never left each other. But love, sometimes, is not enough to protect a relationship from life's pitfalls. My mother, Margaret, always had a strong opinion about everything, especially relationships. "Never put a man first, Sarah," she used to say. "Men cheat, they get tired, they stop loving you. You must always have a plan B." I had never given much weight to her words until the routine of marriage began to suffocate me. James worked long hours, came home exhausted, and without meaning to, started neglecting me. Romantic evenings became distant memories, replaced by heavy silences and nights spent side by side without touching. One evening, during a dinner with my mother, I confessed my unhappiness. She looked at me with an expression I knew well, the look of a woman who always knew everything. "Sarah, a man who neglects you is a man who has already stopped loving you. Don't let him walk all over you. If he doesn't make you happy, find someone who will." Those words planted themselves in my mind like a poisonous seed. Shortly after, I reconnected with Nathan, a former colleague with whom I had always had a latent attraction. He was everything I was missing at that moment. Attentive, funny, eager to court me in a way I hadn't experienced in years. It started with innocent messages, then casual meetups, and finally, the first kiss, which made me feel alive in a way I hadn't in a long time. And you? Have you ever felt that someone close to you was pushing you to make a wrong decision? Tell me in the comments. I want to hear your experience. But what seemed like an exciting adventure soon turned into a nightmare. It didn't take long before James found out everything. One night, coming home earlier than expected, he found a message from Nathan on my phone, one that left no room for doubt. His expression changed instantly, from a loving man to a broken one. There were no screams, no insults, just silence, and then the phrase that still haunts me today. "Sarah, I have always loved you, but now I don't know who you are anymore." If he had yelled at me, it would have been easier, but his silent pain was like a knife to the chest. I watched him grab his suitcase and walk out without looking back, and at that moment, I realized I had destroyed everything for a fleeting illusion. My mother, when I told her what had happened, showed no remorse. "You just took what you deserved, Sarah. Men do it all the time." But her voice felt distant, hollow. For the first time, I realized she had always lived in a prison of cynicism and distrust, and by listening to her, I had condemned myself. James never came back. I tried to reach out, to ask for forgiveness, but it was too late. My life changed forever, along with my understanding of love and trust. And you, do you think the advice of those closest to us can influence our choices too much? Let me know in the comments what you think. The lesson I have learned from this story is clear. True love must be protected, even from our own insecurities. Don't let external voices ruin what you have built with love and dedication. Sometimes, the ones who claim to protect us are the very ones pushing us toward the abyss. Be wise in your choices, because some decisions can never be undone.